Honourable members, may I invite the Honourable Majority Leader and the Honourable Minority Leader to join me to receive His Excellency the President at the Central Lobby. Honourable members, to have the presence of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces in the House. His Excellency the President is here in accordance with Article 67 of the Constitution to deliver a message on the state of the nation to this House prior to the dissolution of this Parliament. On behalf of leadership and honored members of this August House, it is my privilege and singular honor to welcome His Excellency to the House. Honored members, I have the greatest pleasure to invite His Excellency, the President, to deliver his message. Your Excellency, you may now deliver your address.
Your Excellency the Vice President, Right Honorable Speaker, Your Ladyship the Chief Justice, Honorable Members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, allow me to begin by wishing everyone a New Year, and let me say Afishapa. This hall that exists within these walls is a place where I've always felt at home. It was in this August House, as an MP for Bole Bamboy, that I began my political held public office. The residents of that community, Bole Bamboy, entrusted me with the privilege of representing their best interests in the national dialogue of policymaking and legislation. It seems fitting that I should find myself here in this same house, delivering my final public address, which will in effect bring to a close my tenure as president. I deliver this message on the state of the nation in fulfillment of Article 67 of the 1992 Constitution in advance of the dissolution of Parliament. It has been a rare honor and privilege for me to serve my country in the highest office as president. It has been a worthwhile journey, and let me seize the opportunity to thank God for His grace and to the good people of Ghana for the opportunity to serve you. May I also respectfully thank my Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Her Ladyship the Chief Justice, and honorable members of this House for the cooperation and solidarity I have enjoyed during my tenure as President. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of this specific State of the Nation address is to let the people of Ghana know where we stand as a country as the baton of leadership passes from one leader to another. Where are we in this race, so to speak, insofar as nation building, and how is Ghana faring when compared to other nations in Africa and, of course, in the world? Our world has become an increasingly complex one and unpredictable. Majority of economies around the world are sailing against strong headwinds. While the economic crisis and the slowdown in the growth of the Chinese economy has affected the growth of emerging and has resulted in a fall in world demand for commodities. The United States of America makes a slow but steady recovery. The recent increases in the U.S. interest rates means more money is leaving emerging markets and being reinvested back in the U.S. Coupled with a fall in commodity prices on the international market, this is causing an adverse economic outlook for lower middle-income economies like ours. Changing climate has made the world weather more unpredictable in our part of the world. Deforestation, sea erosion, tidal waves, erratic rainfall, more severe harmattan are becoming the new normal. These are wreaking havoc on non-irrigated agriculture and power production from hydro sources. The rise of insurgency and failures in North Africa and the Middle East and religious fundamentalism created a deadly cocktail across the whole world and increasingly in Africa, stretching from the Sahel through West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, all the way to the Horn of Africa. Not being spared, and attacks This is a global crisis in which our country has had to survive and make progress. Mr. Speaker, at the start of our term in office and for many years prior, there have been national dissatisfaction at the declining standards of education at the basic and secondary levels. Lack of access to both basic and secondary education has meant that many children were being left behind. A shortage of professionally trained teachers, teacher absenteeism, shortage of core textbooks, resulting in a situation in which 4 children shared 1 textbook. Dilapidated schools, lack of science laboratories and workshops, among others, manifested in declining results at the Basic Education Certificate Examination BECE and West African Secondary School Certificate Examination WASI. Our vision under my administration has been to turn this situation around and not only improve access to education, but also improve the quality of education. There's a significant improvement in our educational outcomes. More children than ever before in our history are having access to education at the basic and secondary levels. With the distribution of free textbooks, children have access to all the core textbooks and no longer have to share. In excess of 2,000 dilapidated schools, popularly referred to, teachers are more available and are more evenly distributed than has been the case in the past. Teacher absenteeism is down from 27% to below 9%. Mr. Speaker, this has led to more community-day senior high schools, means that more students are able to continue their education beyond basic level instead of dropping out of school. These investments we have made are yielding results and reflecting in the performance of our children. Performance at both the Basic Education Certificate (BCE) and the West African Secondary School Certificate Exam, the WASI, have seen remarkable improvement. The very last batch of BECE students recorded the highest number of obtaining a raw score of above 500 marks in the history of this examination. Mr. Speaker, we're recording improved performance in many public schools in the country. During the Best School Awards ceremony, many rural and public schools are outperforming some of the better-known urban and private schools. Ghana has consistently, over the last 3 years, taken the 3 top spots in the West African School Certificate Examination. Mr. Speaker, the progressively free secondary education program, under which we have absorbed the 40,000 boarding school students. At the tertiary level, the construction of additional public universities in the Brong-Ahafo and Volta regions have improved access to education. The shortcutting for work to start on the University of Environment and Sustainable Development in the Eastern region, the conversion of our polytechnics into technical universities, the creation of 3 autonomous universities out of the University for Development Studies are all creating additional opportunities for students to pursue the tertiary level. Mr. Speaker, in the area of healthcare, the situation was where denied access to quality healthcare. Although in 2004, the Kufuor administration had commenced one of the most famous social intervention programs in the health sector on a broader scale, after years of experimentation, the National Health Insurance Scheme utilization was low due to lack of access to health facilities. The sector was characterized by a severe shortage of trained health professionals. Our vision over the period of my administration has been to provide improved health facilities and trained health workers in all nooks and crannies of the country. Construction of new regional hospitals in Bolgatanga, Wa, and Accra is dramatically improving the health outcomes for tens of thousands of people. New district hospitals in districts across the country, including the recent ones for which I just cut sword in Hueta to cover Somanya, Buipe, Tolong, and Sola, have and will advance even further our policy of providing every district with a first-class health facility. Outpatient utilization for 2015 stood at 29 million, up from 9 million in 2008. Increased numbers of trained professionals being churned out of our training institutions has solved the problem of lack of personnel to man our health facilities. Indeed, at the rate at which this category of personnel are being produced, Ghana may need to sign agreements with less endowed countries to officially deploy some of our health professionals to assist improve their health systems. Mr. Speaker, as a lower middle income country, income disparities widen the gap between the rich and the poor. To cushion the poor and vulnerable, many social protection programs have been introduced in Ghana. At the start of this administration, the number of people benefiting from these schemes were very few. Under the school feeding program, less than 500,000 children were being fed. Under the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program, less than 60,000 households were benefiting. Few children had access to books, school uniforms, and school sandals. Mr. Speaker, our effort under this administration has been to expand the coverage of these programs to cover the majority of the poor and vulnerable population in Ghana. Is better managed today under the auspices of the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection and covers more than 1.5 million children. The LEAP program is benefiting almost 150,000 households. The percentage of District Assembly Common Fund meant for persons with disability has been increased by 50%. And school children in public schools are receiving all their core textbooks. Tens of thousands of children have benefited from the free school protection. One of the essentials of life for which social exclusion was evident was in access to clean drinking water. Many rural and urban communities were water-starved. Statistics indicate that by the year 2008, 56% of rural people and 58% of urban dwellers had access to potable water. This meant that water diseases were a major affliction, created a heavy incidence of disease on our health. Konongo, Mr. Speaker, the early years of this government was characterized by a crippling power crisis. The shortage of power led to a very unpopular load management program. This shortage of power hobbled the growth of our economy and affected both business and residential customers. Many businesses had to resort to the use of generators to survive. August, and took full responsibility for the crisis and promised that I'll do my utmost to fix the problem. It has taken a lot of hard work and effort. Mr. Speaker, it has taken a lot of hard work and effort, fast-tracking the deployment of emergency plans and speeding up the completion of ongoing plans ensured that we added more than 800 megawatts of power over an 18-month period. This increased generation, in addition to the energy sector levy and ongoing works to restructure the legacy debt of the power utilities, has helped to stabilize the power situation in our country. With the expectation of more domestic gas from the TEN and Sankofa fields, Ghana is entering into an era of energy self-sufficiency. Indeed, the warning signals have started sounding about the danger of overcapacity and excess redundancy in our power generation sector. We have agreed to work with the World Bank to rationalize the addition of new plants and ensure that we achieve optimum utilization of electricity, estimated to be above 80% currently. Additional pending electrification programs like the China Water Company program and the Hunan Energy projects will bring even more communities onto the national grid. With increased characterized by a rapidly currency. Created an unfavorable investment environment both for indigenous and foreign capital. Our forum at Senchi was an attempt to forge a consensus for a homegrown fiscal consolidation program. Mr. Speaker, the Senchi outcome eventually became the basis for the IMF extended credit facility that we are implementing. The ECF program, as it's called, has resulted in an improved macro environment, which has seen a steady decline in inflation and interest rates. A new public debt management strategy is also seeing a steady decline in the public sector debt, estimated to have dropped from nearly 75% to below 65% currently. Our currency, the cedi, has also this year enjoyed It is important for us to continue to pursue fiscal consolidation. It is important for us to continue to pursue fiscal consolidation. It is important for us to continue to pursue fiscal consolidation. It is important for us to continue some expected non-tax revenues, such as the sale of electricity. In spite of the breach of the fiscal deficit target, expenditure was lower than programmed, and thus the approved appropriation for 2016 was not exceeded. Mr. Speaker, it is my belief that we continue a diligent implementation of the IMF program till the end of 2016, that we can create a sustainable economy. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economy is still Ghana has also moved up 13 places in the ease of doing business index. increased maintenance costs for drivers, and in turn led to increased fares and transport for goods. My has seen some of the most massive investments in the road sector in the history of Ghana. My vision was to finish off road projects inherited, such as Achimota of Fankor, Awoshi Pokwase, Sofo Line, Tetekwashe Adenta, etc. We also commenced and completed the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. We fast-tracked the construction and opening of the Kaswa overhead bridge. We completed the Airport Hills Bema Camp network of roads and completed the 37 Elwak Trade Fair Road. We've also invested more resources in continuing the Eastern Corridor Road project, asphalt overlay of roads in regional and district capitals, and massive investments in cocoa roads across the country. These have opened up our country significantly. Many other projects are ongoing, such as the Tema Motorway Runabout Decongestion Project, a new bridge from Flower Pot Runabout on the Spintex Road over the Accra-Tema Motorway into East Legon. The others ready to commence with financing arranged, such as the Obiche-Bilamte interchange, the Pokwase interchange, and the motorway expansion project, amongst others. Mr. Speaker, the transport sector has also experienced marked improvements under this administration. Incentives such as reduction in cost of aviation fuel, improved airport infrastructure has seen a massive increase in both domestic and international travel. The Terminal 3 project at the Kotoka International Airport is progressing fast, and when completed will make Accra the most favored aviation destination in the whole of West Africa. Already the completed rehabilitation of the arrival hall in Terminal 2 has created much better comfort for passengers using Accra Airport. Kumasi and Tamale Airport expansion will also see increased passenger movement domestically. WA and HO are advancing steadily and hope to be open to commercial travel soon. Commencement of the bus rapid transit with dedicated bus lanes, christened Ayalolo Express, will create better comfort for urban commuters. Urban rail systems like the Sekendi Kojokrom Takrade line will ease the inconvenience of commuters in the twin cities. The Tema Akosombo line will soon start to maximize the use of the Volta Lake Transport Company for moving cargo for landlocked Sahelian countries up the Volta River to Buipe in the northern region. Work on the expansion of our two maritime ports at Takrady and Tema are ongoing and would lead to faster turnaround times for ships and larger throughput cargo volumes. Bulk cargo handling will also be more efficient. Mr. Speaker, our security forces were severely challenged when it came to logistics and equipment to fulfill their constitutional mandate. Today I can report with pride that vehicles, armored personnel carriers, route control equipment, aircrafts, helicopters, fire tenders make up a few of the components of the investments we have made in our security services. Mr. Speaker, vehicles for judges and completion of the court complex has created a better atmosphere for the dispensation of justice. Implementation of the National Anti-Corruption Action Plan, which was unanimously adopted by this August House, remains on track. I wish to commend this House for the passage of numerous legislation, including the recent Public Financial Management Act, which strengthens our hands in the fight against corruption. I must, however, point out that public and civil society organizations are disappointed in our inability to pass the Right to Information Bill and are still hopeful that before this Parliament is dissolved at midnight on the 6th of January, a consensus can be found to pass this bill into law. Mr. Speaker, the achievements outlined in this statement are accomplishments that my government and I can proudly claim. But the state of our nation at any given time, where we are in the race, is the result of more than the visible gains made by one individual during his tenure. Every president inherits the unfinished work of his predecessor. Every president benefits from the seeds planted by his predecessor. Seeds that could not be sown during his predecessor's tenure. Mr. Speaker, indeed I believe if politics could be described as a sport, the one it would most closely resemble is a relay race. It is a sport that relies as much on the individual's achievement as it does on teamwork and cooperative effort. The true test of that competition is in the passing of the baton. So too with politics. Mr. Speaker, President Jerry John Rawlings started the structural transformation of this economy under the Economic Recovery Program. This program restored Ghana to a path of growth, which he handed over to President John Agyekum Kufuor. President Kufuor continued the Economic Adjustment Program and under HIPIC initiative achieved significant debt reduction, implementing new social intervention programs such as NHIS and the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty Program. He passed these on to President Professor John Evans Atta Mills. President Mills commenced the Eastern Corridor Road Project, the University of Ghana Medical Center, which I inaugurated yesterday, the Kotokraba Market, the Cape Coast Stadium, and a host of others which I inherited and completed. Mr. Speaker, my administration commenced the construction of new community-day senior high schools, a policy of progressively free secondary education, construction of the Eastern University, investment in many infrastructure projects that are ongoing, and many others that will actually commence under President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mr. Speaker, I am assured by his firm statement that he will continue these projects as enjoined by our Constitution of 1992. Mr. Speaker, I wish him all the success in this regard. And as I've said many times already, regardless of whose tenure in which these visions come to fruition, its success belongs to Ghana. They belong to all of us. Mr. Speaker, political opposition and differences of opinion are vital to the health and growth of any democracy. Political parties are formed when people of similar ideology come together to move their agenda forward in a way that best serves their country's interest. But the well-being of the nation and the will of the people must always come first. Partisanship for its own sake in the end is no better than dictatorship. If we look around the world, we can so clearly see the deep divide that blind partisanship is creating in nations with democracies that are even far older than ours. We can see too the divide that it is threatening to create in ours if we are not careful. Already it's taking a toll on our morale and our sense of optimism. It has given way to a cynicism that is as dangerous to the incoming political party as it is to the outgoing. We cannot afford as a nation to wish or hope for the failure of any president and his or her government. Ensuring accountability is not the same as leveling insults or encouraging apathy. We have history as proof that we have been better and that we have done better, and that we must do better once again. Mr. Speaker, I first entered this House as MP for Bole Bamboy in January 1997. It was perhaps not coincidental that the same year Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo entered as MP for Achema-Boakwa. Taking breaks from the business of the House, white handkerchief tucked into his sleeve. Johnny He would shout in greeting, as he preferred to call me. Incidentally, we both served 3 terms in this house, departing together in 2009. The utmost respect for him, given our history that we have each had at each side of a president. It would
Our members, being His Excellency's last message prior to the dissolution of the 6th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana, I deem it proper to convey to His Excellency the gratitude and compliments of the House. Mr. President, we are grateful. Honourable members, at this stage, I intend to suspend sittings. Honourable Majority Leader.
Honourable Majority Leader.
Majority Leader. Which one?
Honourable Majority Leader, any indication?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. We Mr. Speaker, I can only take a cue from your statement that you intend to suspend sitting. I would have loved that we do some more business. But I think it will be unfair and out of all terms of protocol to detain our distinguished invited guests here, including His Excellency the President. And so I totally agree with you that we could take a short break and then see His Excellency and our dignitaries off, and then reconvene to continue with the business of the House. It's with this that I support that we take not a bow, but suspend sitting, and when we return, as His Excellency the President has strongly urged, we continue with the consideration of the right to information.
Honorable Majority Leader, how many minutes are we suspending sitting? 1 hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes?
Speaker, the sense of the House is that we take an hour's break. I just got that sense by sign language. And some decided to catch my ears. So I think that 1 hour will do for the House. Thank you very much.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Speaker, I also take a cue from what you have said and to second the motion for the suspension. I want to believe that, Speaker, I want to believe that the application by the majority leader really is a form of motion that he also intended to move. And I also intend to second the intended motion. But Mr. Speaker, having said that, I'm still wondering whether in the dying embers of this extra time, this House may still find space and time to work on the right to information bill. It is a very important, we all recognize that it's a very important bill. But I do not think that it will do us.
Honorable Minority Leader, I believe that the message of the His Excellency the President that we should build and to decide. So we decide whether we should not react on the floor this time. If I consensus, so I would suggest that because you may, since objection was taken to this law, to be on a silent protest over this House. It's a very important law. For I believe, I want to that they should go back and which they started. If there's consensus, we will take. If there's no consensus.